What is up YouTube, and welcome back to the RiftGuides WildRift video. It is time for the patch 5.3c, and patch 6.0 is around the corner with the biggest durability changes that WildRift has ever seen. But now we're just here with the last patch of this year because Riot is about to go into winter vacation, but we have a few changes that might be a little bit interesting that we will take a look at. Anyway, welcome to patch 5.3c. Highlighted by reworks to Diana and especially Singed, this patch also includes a new AROM experience, a new game mode, new events, and finally your regularly scheduled balance changes. First up, we have the events. Wish upon a snowy winter. Winter's officially here. Cozy up on the couch with WildRift and open wish orbs for goodies. The event starts at the 12th of December. Winter Wonderland rotating game modes. Try out our rotating game modes and win goodies. Winter Wonderland rotating game modes begins on the 6th of December. Victor's Trivia. How well do you know Victor? Try out your quizzes or try out our quizzes and win prizes. This event starts on the 12th of December. And we have a new Wild Pass, which is going to be the last Wild Pass before the next season, the short Wild Pass. And here are the Wild Pass Spring. We're giving you an extra boost to complete your Wild Pass, complete missions, reach milestones, and receive extra goodies. This Wild Pass will be enabled on the 12th of December. Next up, we have Diana rework incoming. We've adjusted Diana's ultimate to boost the combo potential among her abilities, so she should use them in a more flexible manner. What do we have? We have also an adjustment to the passive Moonsilver Blade. The old passive is getting removed and we have a new passive, which means casting an ability will gain bonus attack speed for 4 seconds. Okay, this is a typo. Casting an ability will gain bonus attack speed in 4 seconds. No, it's for 4 seconds, not in 4 seconds. Okay, this is better. Let's take a look here, okay. In the old version, you have 3 attacks, and here's for 4 seconds. This is nicer to have. It should speed up your jungle clear a tiny bit. And it's not going to be, like, super influential, I think, but at least something. Okay, what do we have next? Next, we have Moonfall, the ultimate ability. You cannot no longer, like, hold it. It's going to be removed. It's just going to be a new one. Summons the moon for up to 1 second, triggering Moonfall Glow when the charge is complete. Diana can move and cast abilities and spells while charging up. So, what happens is, effectively, you're just gaining the new ability that is completely independent from your other abilities that deals damage. You can also click it to stop charging and trigger Moonfall Glow. Moonfall Glow deals damage as you see here. We have a normal damage countdown here. This is going to be the instant cast, and if you stack it up fully, it deals double the damage. And it also applies a slow for 2 seconds. So while this happens, Diana can auto-attack you. So this champion is insanely busted. From the very start, I can already tell you this is going to be insanely broken. So good luck with Diana. Next up, we have Singed. We have adjusted Singed ability mechanism and boosted his ability performance, so he can play a more proactive role in team fights. These Singed changes will hit the Rift on the 19th of December. Hold up, do we have any, like, no. So I guess the Diana rework comes with the patch. Noxia's Slipstream. Added a new shield effect performance when granted with movement speed bonus. Okay. Poison Trail. New. Add a new potion bottle effect performance on Singed while activating Poison Trail. They also increased the damage by 50% on rank 1. That is an insane buff for this champion. To be fair, you really needed this, it was way too weak. Level 1, just second wind kind of outperformed the damage this was dealing. So it wasn't really that much of a damage benefit. What do we have next? Mega Adhesive. The adhesive explodes on landing, dealing damage now, okay? It has an ability power scaling and deals damage in an area. And the cooldown is being static on 11 seconds. So Singed gets a damage buff on his first ability, and Singed also gets a new damaging ability on his second ability. That is a massive step up compared to before, because Singed simply didn't have enough damage, but now he has more damage than before, which is a nice thing. What is next? We have the Fling ability. Singed raises his shield and dashes toward the target. If he hits the target, he flings them behind them. And enemies will be knocked aside in his way. So does it mean, hold up, does it mean, like, Singed goes in a straight line forward, yeah? That's pretty much normal, yeah? So he knocks, like, how does it work? Like, is it then like a static, like, max range ability? And if your target is here, it gets flung, and everything on the way is just tossed aside? I don't know if the translation is right, because it sounds kind of weird. Because is it then just a targeted ability, or is it a skill shot? I guess we need to see until it comes out. Okay, they're also buffing the damage of this ability by 1%, it doesn't really matter, and up to 500 against non-champion targets, which means this could be Cinch Jungle. Cinch Jungle could be a thing. Cinch Jungle wasn't that bad before, like it was one of his best positions next to mid lane, but now Cinched has another damaging ability, and he has another access to AoE abilities. So I assume maybe this also deals damage like to the other target it hits as you dash through. Maybe. But yeah, definitely an interesting thing to look at, and we have the Insanity Potion. Drinks a potent brew of chemicals, gaining buffs and granting 30% of the buffs to the nearest allied champion. That you can't choose who gets it is kinda sad. While the potion is active, it applies 4% grievous. This is 40%, this can't be 4, so this is a typo, this is 40%. And a new halo effect on the Singed while the potion is active. The attributes boosted are big increase, up to 100. That is a massive increase than before. And we also have higher health regen, and the duration is also increased. So this is a very interesting thing. So when Singed pops this ability, he just needs to be mindful who's the closest target to him, like the closest ally, because he doesn't want to give this boost to just, you know, a random tank champion normally. Like a carry sounds so much better, no? And it's so insane because, like, the boosted attributes, they should also include, I hope they include armor and magic resist. That would be so crazy if they did, like Nasus. But yeah, I need to see once this goes live. Singed support, definitely an option. Singed top got that, like, every single role that Singed was played before has gotten better now because Singed got buffed effectively. Like, you could call it a rework, but it's effectively a buff. Even if like you just say like damage on his first ability, damage on his second ability, like all of this is an immediate buff to his performance, as well as a buff to his ultimate ability for him, so it's a complete buff. So he's better in all his positions than he was before, and maybe he's very good in jungle, maybe he's very good in support, but we need to see. But he's definitely a lot better. Orianna. We boosted the damage of Orianna's passive and command attack in the early and mid phases, so she can deal more damage to her enemies. We also increased the damage of her ult to improve her highlight moments in teamfights. So what are they doing? They're increasing the base health from 530 to 570. Important because Orianna was too squishy. They're going back on the previous nerfs of the past, where they lowered the damage of this ability, the passive, like when you auto-attack things here, from 5+3 to 10+3. So it's effectively +5 on the damage level 1, +40 health level 1. The mana consumption of your first ability is being reduced, so building Ludens is incentivized, or it feels less bad to have Ludens compared to, for example, Archangel. And they're also increasing the damage, starting with the second rank of your first ability, making this ability a little bit better, but you see 15 mana differential is quite nice to have. And we have a big buff on the ultimate ability, where we have a 50 flat damage buff on rank 1, 75 on rank 2, and a whopping 100 on ultimate, plus a 10% scaling. So Orianna, effectively, is now a way better champion than before. Because if you look at what happened before, Orianna hit an ultimate ability combo and the person just didn't even die. You need to be incredibly fat to just one-shot targets. But this year, if Orianna was like an A champion, she's definitely able now to peek into the S tier. She still shouldn't be able to deal with Syndra. Like, Syndra is still an absolute problem. She still can't survive champions such as Annie flashing on her. Still a big problem. But she's definitely now not, like, terrible anymore. Okay, Maokai is the next one on the chopping block. Maokai's powerful health regeneration and crouch control allow for very strong mid to late game team fighting. We adjusted his passive and twisted advance to give his enemies some room to get rid of him. What are they doing? They're changing the passive. So here we see a scaling change from 4 to 12 to 4 to 10% of maximum health HP. We see another damage nerf to his Q. His Q is going to deal more damage on rank 1, more damage on same damage on rank 2, and then on rank 3 and 4 it effectively deals less damage than before. We also see a nerf to Maokai W, so they just don't want to see Maokai as strong. Maokai is a super simple champion, super impactful. If Maokai was considered an S plus champion, he would now get demoted to an S champion, because that is like still thematically a very good champion. But he they've nerfed him like I think 5 times in a row, 4 times in a row. Like if you want to check, feel free to do so. But fundamentally speaking, the way this champion performs and what he does, and how good he is at doing what he does, he still remains a very good champion. It's not like he just drops into A tier. So this nerf just makes him less good, not bad. Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser can easily oppress his enemies during laning phases, making it challenging for his enemies to counter back. We adjusted some of his stats, so Mordekaiser needs to be more careful in lane. Okay, Mordekaiser is a purely stat check champion. What are they doing to him? They are lowering his base HP by 30, they're changing the damage of his passive auto attack factor by 10, they're changing the third ability's damage by 10, they're changing the cooldown of his ultimate by effectively. So if Mordekaiser was considered S++, he's still S+. This doesn't kill him, this is pretty much not even that relevant. This would only matter in like niche cases in which Mordekaiser has a hard time. He will still be absolutely broken into tanks and automatically win into tanks. And it will still be relatively hard as a bruiser to play into him if he knows what he's doing. Because this ability is still absolutely busted in a way it works, because it just needs to touch you and instantly drags you in, which I think to this day is not intended and more of a bug, but yeah, here we are. Pykel Yakson. As support champion, Pyke is not performing well in dual lane. We improved his crowd control and abilities to make it easier for him to take down his enemies. Well, the issue with Pyke is he's a very high effort champion for decent payoff, not even high payoff. Let's say you hit a hook on Pyke, that's cool, but what after? Like if you hit a hook onto a tank champion, nothing will happen. You need like these enchanters. Like Pyke is not a blind pickable champion. You should not blind pick Pyke as a support, which is probably the biggest issue why Pyke is underperforming. Plus, as I said, he's a very high effort champion. What are they doing? They are effectively nerfing his level 1 on Q by making the cooldown a little bit longer, and then later on, as you invest more points and has a lower cooldown, you also self-slow for less, and they're reverting the stun changes he previously received some patches ago, so his third ability stuns for longer. The funny part is, when you hit your third ability, the target usually died anyway. The problem is hitting the ability. If you hit the ability, the target usually does die. But this here is a nice change, because the frequency in which you can go or fish for these plays is but here, as long as there's so much damage in the game, this is not going to be super relevant. It's nice to have though, don't get me wrong, but it's not super relevant. Lucian! We decreased Lucian's damage to match the value of other marksmen. Thank you, Riot Games. Let's sling a passive. We see 40, 55, 70 to 40, 52, 5, 65, 5% nerf. We also see a direct change to his passive. Instead of 20 plus 20%, it's 20 plus 10%. And then we have a first ability nerf as well, minus 10 damage in total. So Lucian was like, okay, if this was a pyramid, and this is the sun, shining onto the pyramid, then Lucian was this here, like the god towering above everything. And now he's relegated to being the sun. Now he's only the sun. But yeah, this champion was beyond busted in the way he was released and reworked, so this here is a lot better than before. He will not be dead, don't worry, he will still be relatively strong relatively strong is the wrong word, he'll still be strong, because he overkilled you by so much that I don't think that is going to kill him. They'll probably have to revisit this again, and I would have rather seen, honestly, this number here, the flat number, is really scarily high, because he lost 6 or 8 AD, I think 6, but gained so much more on top. So Lucian wasn't bad before, he was just very high effort, and then he was pushed to a degree where he just became too broken because he one-shot you. But here again, I think Lucian will not be dead, but it's very welcome nerf and very needed nerf. Xin Zhao champion. We nerfed the burst damage from Xin Zhao, better positioning him as a fighter and leaving more time for his enemy to react. That's big cap. That's the biggest cap I've ever seen, because take a look at it. He is losing. Listen, guys. He's losing 10 damage and 5% scaling on the second cast. And that's it. So if Xin Zhao jumps you and just one-shots you by 200% of your HP, listen, guys, you lost 10 damage and 5% scaling. Completely irrelevant. Okay, Talon. It was too easy for Talon to gank enemies in early phases of the game. We nerfed some of his cooldowns while making sure his damage was not impacted. He will still be lethal, but his enemies can catch a breath from his Endless Assault. Noxian Diplomacy. Cooldown nerf, this mostly affects jungle clear, so he's slower in the jungle clear because Q is the spell you max on Talon, you go Q, W, Q, and not W max in jungle, it's terrible, QWQ is a lot faster and a lot better. And for the ultimate ability, we have a 10-second cooldown nerf. Again, Talon was the apex predator, he's gotten a little bit weaker. I think we can just safely say, just pick Warwick. Talon is still good, you can still pick Talon, but we can all mutually agree that Warwick is probably the best champion in the jungle, in top lane, that we have available right now, and there is no nerf in this patch for Warwick, nothing. Okay, Lee Sin. As a fighter jungle, it's a bit hard for Lee Sin to survive in teamfights. We buffed his survivability so he can have more time to deal damage and more room for mistakes. He gains 7 more base health per level, gains 5 more... Oh no, they're doing the Vi thing. Not again. And the base shielding of his safeguard is increased by 10. So this champion just has gotten a lot tankier, and what was your experience with the fat Lee Sin? He one-shots you. And, well, he just got a lot tankier, for zero reason. Amazing. I guess Lee Sin was underperforming in China, and he was too much of a high-effort champion, so yeah, we needed to do this again. I don't like it when they do this, but it is what it is, it's fine. Okay, next up we have Tank Malphite. Was underperforming, we adjusted his stats to position him better as a tank champion. To do this we nerfed his magic damage, but buffed his damage to surrounding enemies, and increased his damage scaling with armor. Okay, as I'm reading this, Malphite is a god tier pick into physical damage. Like, if the enemy team is consistent of mostly physical damage, Malphite is broken. If you blind pick Malphite, that is on you, not on the champion. Again, draft matters. What do we have here? We have a Q change, minus 5% ability power, that is very much welcome when you play against AP Malphite. Thunderclap, the armor changes, we have a plus 5% armor increase, and damage of the first basic attack sees an increase of 10 flat damage in total, and another 10%. The following basic attack is also getting increased by 5% extra armor. Oh, wrong one. Yikes. Let's go back here. You see from 15 to 20%. And we have the third ability, which is also a decrease in ability power and an increase in armor. Again, Malphite was a very good pick into physical damage, where it's like god tier broken. But if you just pick it for fun, your champion will suffer a lot. AP Malphite is not that with it, but less oppressive. They could have probably nerfed this a lot more, like the Q. And yeah, could have maybe let him have a little bit more power in his third ability, because AP Malphite gameplay is you throw out your cheesy wheel on cooldown until you run out of mana, and yeah, you just don't interact and you just perma-Q. It's really annoying to deal with. Okay, gameplay changes. Ixtali Scorpion. We nerfed Ixtali Scorpion's pushing and damage abilities. While it serves to push, enemies will now have more time and better chance to counter it. They should also remove, lower the HP. It deals less damage to the tower. Oh my god, the wrong pen. It deals less damage to the tower and less damage to champions. Very much welcome. But I think they should make it a little bit squishier and maybe let it scale with more HP over time, because it feels very, very overpowered in the early stage. Game mode, Hextech ARAM. We got a new few things. If you care about it, we'll just tackle it. Mad Scientist reduces... well, I will not read all the arguments. Feel free to take a look at them. You can pause. I'll scroll down. And feel free to just pause. Okay, and now we have new game mode Showdown. With Arcane Season 2's finale, we have a new limited game mode Showdown. All players can choose an ultimate item immediately at the beginning of the game and unlock their powerful effects as the game progresses. Showdown launches on the 16th of December. Okay, let's read these different things. Chemtech, Exoskeleton, new in Showdown. Take vital chances to be immune to death and boost your damage, regenerating a large amount of health in time to turn the tide. In the balance, upon taking lethal damage, become immune to death for 3 seconds, 1 second for ranged champion, and during this period, getting champion takedowns restores 30% of your max health and resets in the balance cooldown, which is a 60 to 45 seconds cooldown. Overcharged. Increases damage by 10% plus an additional bonus based on missing health. Total capped at 25%. Holy voice crack. I need to take a sip or otherwise my voice is going to sky. Shimmer. Also new in Showdown. Ignore the terrain to move freely. Strike your enemies at an unexpected position and get away after harvesting their souls. Form Shift. 3 seconds after leaving combat you gain Phantom Stride, which lets you ignore obstructive terrain when moving. Upon getting a takedown, you gain Phantom Stride, which cannot be interrupted, and a 30 to 60% movement speed, which scales with level for 3 seconds. Brutal Enhancement. Harvest 1 soul and deal bonus adaptive damage, which scales with 80 AP souls to enemy champions below 50%, and champion takedowns refresh the cooldown. This is basically Dark Harvest from PC. Pow Pow and Fish Bones. More basic attacks, faster movement speed, and a very powerful third attack, which is similar to Kraken Slayer on PC, as well as Ginsus if I'm not mistaken. Supersonic High gains scaling attack speed and 4 movement speed per attack on an enemy champion, stacking up to 15 times and 9 times for melee champions. Ambidextrous Shot, every third attack launches an additional attack. Echoes of the Heart. Choose it when you can it when you can grant buffs to yourself or your teammates, and enjoy the unexpected powerful effect. Amplified Crescendo. Buffing abilities additionally buffs 2 nearby allied champions. Coral Song increases the shield strength and heal potency by 100%. Isn't that like the precursor of, what is it called? Moonstone. The precursor of Moon. Warden's Power Shield. Flip a coin for more sustainability. Damage reduction and ignored penetration make you survive longer in team fights. Verdict. Take 30% reduced damage and toss a coin every 5 seconds. If it lands on heads, you heal for 15% of your max health. If it lands on tails, a lightning bolt strikes at your location, dealing 10% of max HP as true damage to nearby enemies. Iron Law. Armor Pen and Magic Pen are ignored when taking ability damage. Hextech Arm Cannon. What random effect will you get? Bonus CC, true damage, or double cast? Hextech 6 Shooter. After casting an ability, your next ability gains on-hit effects, 40% chance to apply crowd control effects that last 1 for 5 seconds, 40% chance to deal 25% bonus true damage for 5 seconds, and 25% chance to double cast for 10 seconds for a 5-second cooldown. Bejeweled. Damaging abilities can critically strike, gaining bonus critical rate based on the number of upgrade items you have, and yeah. So this is going to be an absolutely cracked out mode once again. And I think that's it for the patch. Okay, cool. That's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think about this patch in the comment section below. The moment we get more info about the durability patch and things get more concrete rather than just the rumors or the current things as they are on the PBE, we will gladly talk about this in another video. Otherwise, just catch me live streaming, catch me making videos, do whatever. Path of Exile is releasing on Friday. Maybe I'll stream it on Twitch. Anyway, thank you for watching. Check out my partners in the description below when it comes to cheaper skins, and we see each other tomorrow.